just don't make music like that anymore. Welcome to One Day Contract, the Panthers talk show where each week we're joined by a new personality who we've signed to a one-day contract to join the show. One Day Contract is a proud part of the Riot Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. Well, on the One Day Contract this week, Erik Spanberg, managing editor of Charlotte Business Journal, and one of the only people in the world who could probably name 10 South Carolina state senators and whether or not they like the Panthers off the top of his head.
You know, I think that what's going to happen is now that you have the agreement in place with South Carolina, they're going to get started, obviously, on the design and the construction and all that stuff. They'll be there in 2021 or 2022. I think that by the end of this upcoming season, the Panthers will have decided what they want to do, what direction they want to pursue, and I think it will become public probably this winter, and then we get to have a real family conversation. Now it's Thanksgiving, and everybody's sitting down talking about politics. And, of course, all of this is building to what happens with the stadium, and I don't want to...
It's got great bones, Eric. It's got great bones.
What they're talking about is whether they can renovate to the extent of being able to bring in a lot of outside events, or do they need to just go ahead and start building a new one? Because Tepper clearly wants Final Fours. He wants college football playoffs. He wants concerts. He wants all the things that this building just simply can't do. I've also heard things like with the indoor practice that, his view was that football was meant to be played outside. And obviously, it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because the stadium is a natural grass field. It's outside. A lot of people love that. So, that was just part of his mentality. So I think, again, it just was a lot from a bygone era.
And I do think that the outdoor games, though, are a part of the experience, because you look at what I would consider the arguably the greatest regular season game, the monsoon game in 2013 against the Saints. Like that, who cares if it's raining on the roof in that game?
Yeah,
right. I agree. I personally, if I was building a stadium, I would have it outside. And I think there's also something to be said for there are certain owners, and I don't think that David Tepper is one of them. There are certain owners, I think, that like that idea of having an older classic stadium, because like the oldest stadiums in the NFL, of which Bank of America Stadium is like right there. It's like one of the 8 oldest stadiums in the NFL, but it's always going to stay there because it's like, but it's like Lambeau is not going anywhere. Soldier Field is not going anywhere. Arrowhead's not going anywhere. Like these iconic stadiums, they're only iconic because the team let them get iconic.
Particularly with those 3 stadiums, they're iconic and they have all that history, but they're essentially new stadiums. And I'm not taking anything away from them, but they put, Green Bay, there might be, one brick that's left from the original. They spent so much money, but it's great because people can still say I'm going in Lambeau Field, and it does have that classic look and feel to it, and they're still playing outside. Soldier Field, obviously, they put a ton of money in. So who knows? Maybe with architects and designers, somebody says to David Tepper, if you really love this, there are all kinds of things we can do with hundreds of millions of dollars that would allow you to keep this and still have the latest and greatest. But the problem remains, you're going to need a roof to do Final Fours and things like that. And if that's as important as it seems to be to him, I can't imagine they're going to try and put a roof on top of that thing. It'd just be so unwieldy and clunky. So,
so it seems
determined.
Seems like your thought is that a new stadium for the Panthers is inevitable, and obviously,
very much so. Very much so. It's 25, like you said. It's already in the, the bottom quarter in terms of age. So I can't imagine that they're not going to look at a new stadium within 10 years, if not, it could be, again, like I said, it could be February, but I think certainly within the next decade, they're going to be in a new home.